I'm Bobby.
And I'm Susie G.
And this is
Spiritual Insights with two crazy ladies and a microphone. Which we
don't
forgot.
have. We do not have a microphone, but we think we're loud enough. At this point, we don't really need a microphone.
I don't know about you, but I know I'm loud enough.
Yeah, you can speak both of us.
I have a big mouth.
No, you do not. It's wonderful. It's wonderful. So we are outside today because it is a beautiful end of August day, and we didn't want to be cooped up inside while we did this next video or segment, which we thought was really an important topic to talk about because it's touched both of our lives lately and a lot of the people we've been around, especially with Lions Portal, Lionsgate on 8/8, which is self-care and taking care of ourselves. Because if we don't take care of ourselves, we can't really take care of anyone else.
No, that is so true. You know, I have a very dear friend of mine, love her to pieces, but she has no concept of self-care. She gives and she gives and she gives and she takes care of everybody else. And when you even suggest some self-care, she's like, oh, I can't do that. She doesn't know how. She doesn't realize how important it is.
And sometimes, if you become a martyr in that sense, right? When you give so much of yourself that your energy is depleted, and then you become negative because you feel you have to give to everybody else, it's not being received in the right way.
No,
And,
no, not at all.
I kind of ran into that, and in July, I was starting to do my calendar for August and September, and all these classes that I wanted to start back up and schedule, and then I just realized I had to back away from some things, and I actually canceled some things and postponed some things because if I'm not taking care of myself, I'm not giving my energy fully to the project that I'm working on, and it's just not going to come across.
Right. And I had to do something similar. I usually do a bi-weekly live broadcast on Facebook. And I'm not sure how long ago it was, but I said, you know, guys, I need to put this on pause for a little bit because it can be quite draining physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually to do those readings on a regular basis. So I needed to just pull back a little bit.
You know, as spiritual healers, it's our natural and tendency to want to help others. That's why we get in this line of work. But I brought a few notes today because I thought it was really interesting because there's 8 types of self-care that we wanted to talk about today. So number 1 is the physical self. We don't take care of our physical body and we just put junk in our mouth.
That's me. I have an opportunity. I have an opportunity to do better care of my physical avatar or my physical body. This is the only body I'm going to have in this lifetime. So this beautiful, delightful fluffiness that I have, you know, I have an opportunity to do better, and it is on my radar to take that as a priority for myself, for self-care of my body.
And you all have those cheat days, right? You all have the days where you have to allow yourself that. We're human.
Oh yeah.
But if you want to put junk in your body 24/7, junk's going to come out. And we're all guilty of it. I don't care who we are because we're human. Yeah. So the other type of self-care is mental self-care, which I think is just as hugely, if not more important.
Oh my gosh, yes.
When we don't take care of ourselves mentally, that's when depression sets in. That's when we withdraw from people. We get overwhelmed. You know, I don't know about you, but that's what I had to do, that mental self-care in July and early part of August, and just reset everything.
Yeah, you can become depressive, anxious, cranky. Nobody wants to deal with a cranky spiritual healer. Nobody.
Can you imagine doing a Reiki session?
You got junk, and you need to deal with your junk, and I'm pushing my junk on you. Can you imagine that? Oh my God.
So speaking of that, there are times when I've actually was supposed to be, you know, doing a pop-in at a local business, and I've had to reschedule or cancel those because if I'm not feeling up to it, the energy that I'm trying to get from the universe or that I'm seeking from the universe, for the other person, it's not going to work.
Exactly. And it's with every modality. It doesn't matter if you're Reiki, tarot, oracle, channel, medium, it doesn't matter. You have to have a good mental what's the word I'm thinking of?
Acuity?
Balance. You've
It
got to
works.
be, yeah, you've got to be stable,
Yes.
balanced in
Balance.
your.
You have to have that acuity, the balance.
Yeah, thank you.
Everything just needs to, and if it's not, then you have to be smart enough
And willing.
and willing to take a step back. You have to listen to your higher self, which at that point it's screaming at you, and you're usually not listening.
Yes.
And that's what happened to me at the end of July. I was just screaming at me, and I was like, I don't know how I'm going to accomplish everything. And they're like, well, take a step back. We put our own timelines in place, right? I had all my, I'm like, well, I can move my timelines back. I have a new podcast that I'm going to be starting up, and I had set this extremely aggressive timeline, not knowing why, and I was like, no, not going to happen. Not with everything else you already have scheduled, because you have to give everything else that you want to do equal amount of attention.
Yep.
And if you're not willing to do that, you're not doing it for the right reasons.
Exactly. I totally agree.
Yeah.
Totally agree.
The other one is social self-care, which kind of goes hand in hand.
Oh yeah.
If you're not, when someone invites you to an event or to come over or whatever it is, if you're not feeling up to it, that you
Don't
can't go.
do it.
No. If you're going to go there and be Debbie Downer or what is that what they call it?
I think so. Debbie Downer. Yeah. Or
Um,
Karen. Worse.
yes,
Be a Karen.
Sorry for all the Karens that we know.
Yes. I say that with a joking love and respect.
Yes. You don't want to be that person at that party that just starts deflecting and saying all the negative things. So if your
Right.
energy isn't feeling it for some reason, just politely be honest.
Yeah. I'm
Just
not up
say,
to it.
I'm not up to it. I'm not mentally, emotionally feeling it tonight, and I just
Yeah.
can't. I've had friends do that to me, and I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
I don't want you to come over if you're not feeling it.
Right. And if you're not comfortable saying that, then just say, I'm sorry, but something has come up
Which
and
is
I'm not
true.
going to be able to join, because something comes up, being mental health,
Yeah.
social anxiety, whatever it is. You need to take care of you.
Yeah. I remember, so years ago, I was in my 20s. So that's how long ago that was. I remember where I worked, where we both worked, a person had called in sick. And the next day when they came in the office and I was talking to this person, I asked how they were doing, thinking they were physically sick. And they were like, oh, no. I took a mental day.
Yeah, mental health day.
Okay, so 30 years ago, a little hint on time with my age.
Mental health days didn't exist
They
back
did not
then.
exist. And I remember going, what? You took a mental health day? And they're like, yeah. This person had a family, had young kids. They were selling their house. They were packing.
That's a lot.
And work was going crazy, the role that this person played. And I remember walking out and sitting down in my cube, we had cubes, and sitting down in the cube and going, wow, I didn't know we could take mental health days. I'd take one every day. No.
And that's so funny because, so many times I run into a client that they need somebody to give them permission to do something. So this is us right now giving you permission to take a mental health day if you need it, to say no to that social engagement if you're not feeling up to it. You have permission to take care of yourself.
Yes. You don't have to ask anyone else.
No.
Just do it. Do what feels right for you, so that you can get back on track
Exactly.
to living your best life, and the life that you're supposed to live.
I agree.
To be honest.
Yes.
The other one was spiritual self-care.
Oh, that's a big one.
I'll let you kind of talk to that one, because that's your role.
Yeah, so for me, spiritual self-care is a couple of different things. It's knowing when to open yourself up to allow the spiritual realm to come in and communicate with me, and knowing when to turn it off or send them away. So I am a direct channel, and there are lots of beings that want to come and channel through me. So part of my spiritual care is knowing that it's okay for me to say, no, you can't channel through me. And it's okay for me to say, no, you can't wake me up at 3 o'clock in the morning just because you want to talk. We have to set those boundaries. Call it office hours, living hours, whatever you want to say. But for me, that spiritual importance on that aspect, on the channeling aspect, is knowing that I need my time, my personal space, to be able to say no to other beings from other dimensions coming to talk to me. but also having that time and making it a priority for me to do my meditation time or my spiritual practice. You know, some of us get up in the morning and some of us have altars and we need that time to go and sit at our altar and do our prayers or our intention settings or whatever it is our morning practice is. That's important. And if you can't get it done in the morning, a lot of times your day comes and gets in the way. I mean, life happens, you know, so carving that time out, whether it's morning, afternoon, or evening, making your spiritual life a priority.
It's so true. And I know, like, for me, on a tangible asset, I put my phone on Do Not Disturb, so I don't hear any phone calls or any text messages that come through. I used to have it at 10 at night, and I think now I moved it to 9:30 because I'm an early bird, because my cats want to be fed.
Yes,
So,
they do, and they're not waiting.
And they're not waiting. So, so I think from 9:30 to 5:30 in the morning, if someone sends a message, I don't hear it.
Yeah.
And that's okay. And then I also know when I do set my phone to go off, because I have to be somewhere, I set it 10 minutes early, sometimes 15 to 20 minutes early. Because then I lay there and I, like you said, if you don't do your self-care, and if you want to do it at night, in the afternoon, in the morning, whatever works for you.
Works.
But for me, I find I like to recite the Reiki principles. I like to recite, you know, the Ho'oponopono. Like, I like to do a lot of self-reflection in the morning before I even get out of that bed.
Exactly.
So I turn that alarm off and I just lay there for 10, 15, 20 minutes, getting that in.
Yeah. Allowing your soul to come back and integrate.
Yeah,
and
because it does.
connecting.
Oh my God,
We could have a whole conversation about
that. Our
one.
souls go at night. Sometimes I'm like, whoa,
Yeah.
I am more tired than when I went to sleep. But then I get up, and that's at the end of my meditation. Like, why I'm feeding the cats, why I'm getting my coffee, why I'm taking my shower. I'm still mentally doing that meditation and preparing.
Yeah.
Then I let those phone calls come in. Mm-hmm. And I hope that doesn't come through because I just saw a recording come up with a phone call. So it'll be interesting to see if that comes
To see
through
if
on
that
video.
message pops up on
Don't
this
call
video.
that number if you see it. I don't know who it was.
That is so funny.
But yeah, spiritual self-care is huge.
Yeah, and that goes with the mental self-care, the emotional self-care, and those do not disturbs on your phone are there for a reason. And I have an Android. I don't have an iPad. So my Android lets me put routines and modes together.
It's there every day.
Yeah, so I have a meditation mode. So when I click my meditation mode, my screen goes to a different color and do not disturb goes up. And my YouTube pops up because I like to listen to YouTube music when I meditate.
YouTube has amazing free meditations and videos
music tracks
and music
oh my
and
gosh.
everything. And yes, you know, depending on which one you're listening to and how long, you get a commercial that pops in there. But I'll tell you, I do that, and I have Amazon Music.
Yeah.
I do pay for the Amazon, you know, Prime, so I get the unlimited music, which helps me in my meditation classes. But yeah.
Did you know, speaking of Amazon, did you know that if you ask Alexa to play spa music, she will play spa music? There's a spa music program on Amazon. I didn't know that. One of my friends told me that. So.
I actually have on my downloads spa music.
Do you?
Because when I do my meditative fusion into Peter, I love to play the calming music. So the spa, I call it elevator music.
It's wonderful.
It is amazing. But yes, and even at night, I laugh because I like different things that I go through cycles. Like for a long time, I wanted to listen to owls at night. It's always nature. But right now, I'm on this kick. I want to listen to whales for 2 hours. So I set it. I'm like, you know, Alexa, play whale sounds for 2 hours. Literally, and then I have my little galaxy light going.
Nice.
I'm never awake when that stuff all goes off, and 2 hours later, I am out.
But it's wonderful putting you to sleep.
It is. And then sometimes I put my little mask on, and it's amazing. Mm-hmm. So, so spiritual self-care. So these all go together, and there's two more. For those still in that professional world, setting those professional boundaries for self-care.
Definitely. Definitely.
We both, we retired, and we're doing different things now, more things that make our soul happy.
Yeah.
But when we were in the professional world, we were in the same with the same company. It can be draining.
Yeah. But let me make one correction. We're still professionals.
Oh, yes, we're still professionals.
Yes. But when we were in corporate America,
yes.
let's say that when we were in corporate America can be very draining.
Yep. And you know, it's great if that's your ambition and you're young and you want to climb the ladder and you want to go really great, go for it. But you also have to set boundaries because it will drain you.
Oh,
Even this
yeah.
work will drain you if we don't
Yeah.
set boundaries. So
Yeah, they will call you at night. They will call you on weekends. They will call you when you're on vacation.
I know people who have a phone that they're literally on call all the
24/7.
time. Yes.
24/7.
And I'm like, how can you be at your best when you've gotten phone calls all night, had broken sleep, but yet you're supposed to drive into work the next day and do your 8-hour job?
Right? One of my very last coworker that I had, you know who I'm talking about.
Yep.
Love her to pieces. If you're listening,
We all
girlfriend,
love her.
I love you so much.
Yes.
But, and she knows this because I've told her this, she is attached to that work phone. She has a personal phone and she has her work phone, and she wouldn't give up that work phone. She struggles to take vacation without taking her laptop with her, and her son will tease her, and he'll be like, you know, my name at work was Susan, not Susie. So her son would say, Mom, what would Susie say? And he still does that. Mom, what would Susie say? And Susie is always preaching work-life balance. You have to have a balance between professional work, whether it's corporate America, retail America, spiritual side, doesn't matter. You have to have balance. You have to have boundaries. Boundaries. We could have a whole conversation on that one.
And speaking of boundaries, it's okay to say no.
Yes, you have our permission.
Everyone says that's a negative word. It's not a negative
No.
word.
No.
You don't have to say it meanly. You don't have to even say the word no. You don't have to explain your. I work with a business. I do Reiki out of there once in a while, and I remember her telling me, if you can't do something or you can't do it, you don't have to give me an explanation.
Yeah.
No is no. She said, you know, she said her mom does that to her all the time. Like, Mom, no, and then she goes into a half-hour reason why she can't. She goes, that doesn't matter to me.
I know.
If you can't, you can't. It's okay.
Yep. And I struggle with that. I'm the one who's going to say, no, blah, 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 blah. No, because. Blah, 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 blah.
I just did that last
I
night.
do it all the time.
I couldn't make an event last night. I texted 3 people, and Susie was one of them. And I felt the need to explain why. All I could have said was, I can't make it. But we do that. And
We do.
And we can. A brief explanation is fine. You don't need to go in an hour long and defend yourself. Because honestly, you need to take care of you and what you're doing. And if
Exactly.
something happens that comes up, whether something else calls your attention that's a priority, or you just need you time, do it.
Do it.
That's all we're saying.
Yep.
Do it. And environmental self-care. So I didn't really look at these ahead of time. I never do.
What's that
I just
one?
print stuff and bring it. So,
Environmental.
Oh,
Connecting
sustain.
with the environment.
grounding.
Grounding. Can we say grounding? And here we are outside today.
Yes.
That fits in because Bobby's like, why should we be in the basement? It's a nice day out today. Let's go outside.
Normally we're inside because I'm going to be honest. Usually I'm cold. Getting better with that. So I'm going to tell you, ever since I had my first quantum healing session with Matt and my second one with Carter, and one of my bigger things was I want to heal from being, cold all the time
All
because
the
I have
time.
that rain nose. It's taken a while, but it's getting better. I don't get as cold, and I get warmer quicker. Like normally I'd be like, oh, I gotta put my sweater on right now because it's in the 70s. So I think it's in the, I don't even know what it is, but I'm like really warm. So, yeah, being in Mother Nature, grounding, you can't say it enough.
No.
Take your freaking shoes off. Put your feet on the ground.
In the grass. Go for a walk in
Yeah.
the woods. Stick your feet in the water.
Yes.
Oh
Sand,
my
water,
gosh.
whatever. I don't care.
Yeah.
Grass. Just,
Have
you
some
will be
plants.
amazed at just how much more calm you feel. Just closing your eyes for 5 minutes.
I know. I love coming out on this back porch. I know you guys can't see it, but I have plants all along my railing, which I need to water. And this love seat that we're sitting on is actually a day bed, so I'll flip it down sometimes. I'll lay out here. Normally I have a spot for a hummingbird feeder, so I can watch the birds, and I mean, it's just...
It's
To
very
me,
nice.
Yeah, walking out here and sitting out here. I actually have a fan going if there's no breeze. It's a perfect way. So make your space. Find a spot in your home. If you're in an apartment, on a patio or a balcony.
Go to a local
whatever.
park.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Or
There's-
biking trail. And we'll do a little snapshot. We're going to do a video after this, actually, with lighting a candle for meditation. We'll do just a little picture of Susie's marsh. that her and
yeah.
her husband have behind their house. It's amazing the deck. I mean, you want to talk about just
Getting into nature.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Walk out on that deck and just boom.
Yeah, my backyard is all about getting into nature. It's very private and secluded, right on the river. I mean, not everybody can live on the water. I get that, but we can all get access to nature somehow.
Yes, yes. And, you know, for those of you who are like, oh, well, maybe you physically you can't get around. Okay, well, YouTube again has a lot of free meditation and nature apps. Put on some nature music. Take off your shoes, ground them on the carpet, lay on the floor, video, whatever. It's really easy to do, and that might be another
Open a window.
thing we can do. Yeah, open a window. And, yeah, we're hearing a ton of traffic right now, but guess what I'm hearing? I love this time of year when it gets towards fall. People are hearing all the crickets and, I don't know, grasshoppers and
Crickets, grasshoppers.
the noise, even early, all throughout the day, not just at night anymore. And I grew up in the country, so I love that sound.
Yep.
So,
Yeah, wait a little longer, we'll hear some bullfrogs going.
oh, that's the best.
I know.
That is the best.
Love it.
So, and the last one is, this is always on everyone's mind, financial self-care.
Oh, yes. A lot of people struggle with manifesting money, but, you know, my opinion, and it's okay if you don't agree with me.
Yeah, for anything we say. You don't have to
Anything,
agree.
yes. So my opinion on financial care is, again, finding that balance. I am so all about the balance. You know, my husband, love him to pieces, is all about save. We gotta save money. We gotta have money. And he's like, rah! And I'm like, no. We gotta sprinkle it everywhere we go. We gotta sprinkle it.
Just like fairy dust.
Just like fairy dust. You gotta let me spend my money because it's currency, you know? You have to have a balance between spending and saving. You have to, you know, we live in a muggle world, right? So we do need to have some financial planning. We do need to have some
Disposable
savings.
income.
We do need to, you know, put some money aside. You know, we can't just expect it to win the lottery.
No.
You know, not everybody's going to win the lottery,
So
right?
if that's what you all want to manifest, is just be rich and win the lottery. It's just not gonna. That's not a practical manifestation.
No, it is not a practical manifestation. Yes, someone is going to win, but it's very minute chance that it will be one of us.
And yeah, you have to have that nice balance. And you know, and I think as spiritual healers, when we get into this line of work, we don't get into it for the money. We get into it because we want to help people heal themselves, and we want to feel better about what we do. But we also know we do need to make some disposable income to pay our bills.
Yeah. Mortgage,
I don't
rent,
need to
food.
be rich.
But I don't want to be living in a cardboard box
Either. So yeah, there's that balance, and you have to find what works for you. So for some people, they want to work a little longer and save more money so they feel more financially secure and then retire. That's okay. Do what works for you, but don't judge other people for the life that they choose.
Right, exactly. And I actually had this little tidbit. So last night I was at a networking event. Bobby was supposed to go, but she had stuff that came up, which she mentioned earlier. But there was a lady, a spiritual teacher who teaches, I don't quite remember what the name of her business was, but it had to do with money management from a spiritual perspective. And part of it is the commitment. So is there a class you want to take that's going to help you become a better spiritual person or more artistic or whatever it is? You know, put some money aside for that, because when you put that money aside for it, you're connecting to the universe, and it says, universe, yes, I want to do this, and this is me committing to it. So it helps bring it about.
It does. And this is just me. I do this, I've done this my whole life, but more so since I retired from the corporate world. I make my top 10 list of what I want to accomplish, especially education-wise in the spiritual world, and what I want to roll out.
Sure.
So I make that list every year, because then, I put that dollar amount to it, knowing this is going to cost this much and this much. So, okay, then what do I have to do to make enough of that money to pay for those classes?
Yes.
Because some of these classes can get expensive, just like in corporate world when you're taking classes. So
Yes.
that doesn't mean that list is set in stone.
No.
Some things come up that are going, oh, okay, the universe is showing me this. Okay, we're going to move this down to number 11, so that might be 2026. I already have my 2025 list set. Or I shouldn't say set. I have it written in pencil.
You have it created.
I have it created. I always put everything in pencil, even on my calendar, because
Because life happens.
life happens, and
Life
I don't like
happens.
crossing out in pen.
Exactly.
So, but that helps you plan. So, yes, having that financial acumen to know what you want and what you need and what you want to save for, and it's different for everyone.
Yeah.
Everyone has a different way they want to live, and that's okay.
And the other piece of this, the flip side, as a spiritual worker, I personally had a really hard time accepting money for my services.
Oh, yes. Yes.
I really struggled with accepting money because I felt like as a spiritual healer, I should just give away my services for free. And that's not true. It has to be an equal exchange. So if you can exchange a service for a service, great. But if you can't exchange a service for a service, then you need to come up with a different way to exchange. And one of those is receiving money. So when I finally got over my money block of receiving, I've noticed that I have more clients coming in that are paying clients versus free clients.
Because they understand it's your time.
Yes.
It's your time and your expertise that you're giving them and your advice. I do Reiki, okay? And people are like, well, Reiki is energy, right? Energy is free. Yes, it is. But my time means something. My time is a value. I work with a local business and I do meditative fusion classes. And we just had a conversation the other day because they went to 7 sessions, 7-week sessions versus 6-week sessions. And as I was doing the math, the prices actually went down to everyone that was attending, which means based off of the commission that they take out, I'm getting less. And I hadn't looked at that quite closely when they said they were going to 7 weeks. So I questioned it. It's already out there and rolled out for fall, but I said, I'm not asking for a lot. I just can't go backwards because my time is of value.
Right.
And I just need to make the same amount. I'm not asking for anything more, but I just need to make sure if you're going to offer extended classes that I get that same amount.
Right.
And they totally understood, which was great. But your time is a value.
Yes, exactly.
That's about it on that. But the cool thing is that all these 8 different types of self-care actually fall. It's more messages are coming on the phone. They actually fall into the 4 self-bodies, as we call them. Okay.
Oh yeah.
So, which I think is really cool. I have this is from the intuitive Jill Willard. I have her book on the 4 bodies. I was going to bring it and I forgot it. But in balancing those, so the first body is again the physical body. The second body, excuse me as I go through this little sheet here that I brought. You got the physical body, the mental body, the emotional body, and the spiritual body. So you can take all those 8 types of self-care and you can fit it into those 4 categories, which helps people break it down a little bit easier.
Right.
Like, it's 4, not 8.
Yes.
And just when you look at that every day, how can I take care of my physical body? How can I take care of my mental body? How can I take care of my spiritual body? It's not that hard.
It's not that hard. It's just that dedication. And I am very honest and open that I need work on the physical side. I've got the spiritual boundaries. The emotional is great. The mental health is wonderful. Mine's right here. So where's your opportunity? We all have opportunity.
We do. And I'd have to say for me, it's probably the mental where I get excited about doing things. And then I overextend myself.
Oh, sure.
Just like I did, with I'm rolling out multiple classes. I'm excited about them. And then I wanted to roll out this podcast, which this podcast that I'm doing is coming. The podcast is amazing. It's all about actually highlighting other spiritual healers. But I wanted to roll it out this fall. And then I was talking to someone, and they were like, "Oh, well, I could do it in August." And I'm like, "Oh, okay, yeah, sure." So I overcommit because I get excited. So that's just me and my personality. And then I have to, my higher self is like, Bobby.
Yeah, take it back a step.
So for me, it's that mental part going, yeah, you can still do everything you want. We put our own expectations on ourselves. We put our own timelines on ourselves. So I have no one else to blame for that when I put too much on my schedule but me. Yeah. And then I still have to remember, I'm in control of that. I can move things out. And that's what I did.
Push it out.
That's what I did.
Push it out.
So
You have permission. We
Yes.
are giving you permission to take care of you and your needs, physical needs, emotional needs, spiritual needs. What was the third one? Physical, emotional, mental needs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I always forget what.
Yeah.
Emotional and mental kind of go
They
so
kind
close
of,
together.
they're very close together. So you have permission. If you need someone to give you permission, we're giving you
it to you.
permission.
We'll put that in the little subtitle.
Yeah.
This is your permission.
This is your permission to take care of you.
And one of the great ways, and if you don't meditate already, we just encourage you to start with 5 minutes a day. This is a really good book. I don't know if you're going to be able to see it because of the sun, but it's called Meditation for Beginners. Okay? So it has a lot of different tips on ways to meditate, starting with 5 minutes. But we're going to do a little shot or a video after this that we're going to post too. Meditating with a candle. A lot of people want to be able to focus on something when they're meditating, and just to close their eyes, they find their mind wanders. And it's a little proven fact that if you're staring at something, so if you don't have a candle, you know, if you have a little electric candle, that's fine too, or I don't know, if you want to be outside and focus on a plant, it doesn't matter. If you focus on something, you put all your attention toward that, that's meditating.
It is meditating.
So we'll do a little candle meditation and send that out as well for everyone. So we're meditating for you. The meditation is about you, self-care, and giving yourself, which we just did, permission to do what's best for you.
Yeah, so hang on, because we're going to turn it off here, and we're going to segment over to that meditation.
All right. We're going to say bye for now. Bye for now.
Let me find my little clicky thing.
Oh, this works better than mine.
It's going to work.
It's gonna
Ready?
work. Bye.
Did it work?
I think it's still going.
No, it's still going.